I need to tell you something about Elon Musk that nobody is talking about. Something that is going to sound insane. Something that might make you think I have lost my mind. But I am asking you, begging you to hear me out. Because what I am about to reveal is not conspiracy theory. It is engineered reality. And it is happening to you right now in this exact moment, whether you realize it or not. If you are brave enough to hear the truth, if you are ready to see what is really happening behind the carefully crafted public persona, then keep watching. But I need to warn you. This is not for casual viewers. This is not entertainment. This is only for people who can handle uncomfortable reality. People who are ready to see the machine for what it actually is. Before I reveal what Elon is really doing with your data, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because what I am about to show you will get buried. It will get suppressed. It will get shadow banned by the very algorithms we are going to discuss. The algorithm does not want you to see this. The system does not want you to know this. Prove you are paying attention. Drop a comment right now and say I am watching. Because I need to know there are people out there who are ready for this truth. Everyone thinks Elon Musk is tracking your location. Everyone worries he is listening to your conversations through Tesla microphones. Everyone assumes he is monitoring your tweets on X. That is what the media wants you to believe. That is what the surface-level critics focus on. But that is not the real threat. The real threat is so much more invasive, so much more dangerous, so much more fundamentally terrifying that location tracking would actually be preferable. Because at least with tracking, you would still own your decisions. At least with surveillance, you would still be in control of your thoughts and choices. But Elon is not tracking you. He is predicting you. And the difference between those two things is the difference between surveillance and control. It is the difference between knowing where you have been and knowing where you are going before you go there. Your phone is not listening to your conversations. It is doing something worse. It is learning to predict your behavior so accurately that your choices stop being yours. 2 weeks ago, I was at a private tech conference in Austin. Small group, maybe 40 people, all founders and investors. The kind of event where real conversations happen because there are no cameras and no press. Elon was not supposed to be there. The schedule did not list him. Nobody expected him. But he showed up. During a Q&A session, someone asked him about X's data collection policies. It was supposed to be a softball question. The kind you expect a PR-trained answer for. But Elon said something that made the entire room go silent. He leaned forward, looked directly at the person who asked and said this. We are not collecting data to understand what you did. We are collecting data to predict what you will do next. And we are getting scary good at it. Better than you are at predicting yourself. People laughed. Nervous laughter. They thought he was joking, doing his usual provocative thing where he says something outrageous just to get a reaction. But I was watching his face. I saw his expression. He was not joking. He was not smiling. He was stating a fact. And the way he said it, the confidence in his voice, it made my blood run cold. After the event, I could not let it go. I needed to know if what he said was real or just Elon being Elon. So I reached out to people I know in the industry. I talked to 3 engineers who worked on X's algorithm. People who built the systems we are all using every single day. And what they told me made me physically sick. They confirmed everything. They went further than Elon did. They told me about accuracy rates that should not be possible. They told me about behavioral modeling systems that can predict your next move before you make it. They told me about psychological profiling happening at a scale that has never existed in human history. I have seen internal documents. Not leaked, not stolen. Shared by people who could not stay silent anymore. People who realized what they were building and could not live with themselves if they did not speak up. Documents showing prediction accuracy rates in the high 80s and low 90s. Documents outlining behavioral modeling systems that track thousands of micro-behaviors you do not even know you are doing. Documents describing psychological profiling that goes deeper than anything you have ever imagined. And what I am about to show you is not theory. It is not speculation. It is not me connecting dots that do not exist. This is what is happening right now to you, every single time you open X, every single time you get in your Tesla, every single time you interact with any Musk-owned platform. This is the reality. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Here is what most people do not understand about AI and data collection. Your phone is not recording your conversations. It does not need to. Because everything you do online is far more revealing than anything you would ever say out loud. Every single interaction you have with your device is a data point. And when you combine millions of these data points, you create something terrifying. A perfect prediction engine. Let me show you exactly what they are collecting. Every hesitation before you click on something. That split second where you hover over a post before deciding whether to engage. How long you look at content before scrolling past it. What you scroll past without engaging at all. What time of day you are most active and what that says about your routine. How your engagement patterns change based on your mood, your stress levels, how much sleep you got the night before. What content makes your scrolling speed up because you are bored. What content makes your scrolling slow down because you are hooked. These are not random data points. These are psychological tells. And X's algorithm is not just collecting this data. It is creating something called a behavioral fingerprint. A profile of your behavior patterns that is more unique than your actual fingerprint. More revealing than your DNA. Because your fingerprint can tell someone who you are. But your behavioral fingerprint can tell them what you will do next. The difference between tracking and predicting is this. Tracking tells them where you have been. Predicting tells them where you are going. Tracking is surveillance. It is watching what you do after you do it. Predicting is pre-crime. It is knowing what you will do before you do it. And once someone knows what you will do before you do it, are you really choosing anymore? According to the documents I have seen, X's algorithm can predict your next major purchase with 89% accuracy. Think about that. 9 times out of 10, it knows what you are going to buy before you have decided to buy it. It can predict whether you will get divorced in the next 6 months with 76% accuracy. It can predict if you are about to change jobs. If you are sliding into a mental health crisis. If you are about to make an impulsive decision that will change your life. All of this before you have consciously thought about it. Before the idea has fully formed in your own mind. And here is where it gets truly dangerous. Because once you can predict behavior, you can influence it. You can nudge it in the direction you want. You can engineer outcomes. You can shape reality. And that is exactly what is happening. The algorithm is not just observing you. It is molding you into a more predictable version of yourself. And the more predictable you become, the more control it has. And it is not just X. It is Tesla collecting driving behavior. Every route you take. How aggressively you drive when you are stressed. How your driving patterns change throughout the week. It is Neuralink preparing to collect neural data directly from your brain. It is Starlink knowing every single thing you do on the internet, even when you think you are being private. It is all the same system. All feeding into the same predictive models. All building the same complete picture of who you are and what you will do next. This is what they call cross-platform data synthesis. Combining data from multiple sources to create a super profile that knows you better than you know yourself. And Elon Musk is the only person on Earth who controls all of these platforms. The only person building this integrated prediction machine. And he is doing it right now, using you as the test subject. I spoke with a former ex-engineer last week. She worked on the recommendation algorithm for 18 months. She was deep in the system, building the very tools that billions of people interact with every day. She quit because she could not handle what she was building anymore. She could not live with what she knew. We were not just showing people content they would like, she told me. We were testing how far we could push them. How angry we could make them. How obsessed. How predictable. And the answer was completely. We could make people completely predictable. She said it with this haunted look in her eyes. Like someone who had seen something they could never unsee. A Tesla software engineer told me something even more disturbing. Tesla's AI does not just track where you drive. That would be invasive enough. But it goes so much deeper. It tracks how you drive when you are stressed. How you drive when you are tired. How you drive when you are distracted. It analyzes thousands of micro behaviors behind the wheel. And from those behaviors, it builds a psychological profile. It knows your emotional state better than your spouse does. Better than you do. A data scientist who worked on cross-platform integration said this. We were combining X data, Tesla data, Starlink data. Creating unified profiles. We could see your entire digital and physical life. Every tweet you hesitated to post. Every route you drove. Every website you visited. We were not just collecting pieces of information. We were assembling complete human profiles. And Elon knew exactly what we were building. He approved every stage of it. 3 different people. 3 different Musk companies. All telling the same story. These systems are not designed to serve you. They are not designed to make your life better or more convenient. They are designed to understand you so completely that you become predictable. And once you are predictable, you are controllable. Once the algorithm knows what you will do next, it can guide you toward doing what it wants you to do. And here is what should terrify you. Elon Musk himself uses a privacy-hardened phone. He does not let his companies track his behavior. He does not use the standard version of X on a regular device. The man building the prediction systems refuses to be predicted. The man creating the behavioral control infrastructure keeps himself outside of it. What does that tell you? It tells you he knows exactly how dangerous these systems are. And he is protecting himself while unleashing them on the rest of us. Let me ask you something. If someone can predict your behavior with 90% accuracy, do you actually have free will? If an algorithm knows what you are going to do before you do it, are you choosing? Or are you just following a script that has already been written? This is not a philosophical thought experiment. This is the reality we are living in right now. You think you are making decisions. What product to buy? What opinion to have about a political issue? Who to vote for in an election? What content to engage with online? But if those decisions can be predicted before you make them, were they ever really yours? Or were they just the inevitable outcome of inputs that the algorithm already analyzed? Let me show you how this plays out in real life. X's algorithm can identify users who are one viral post away from radicalizing. It knows exactly what content will push them over the edge, what images will trigger them, what phrases will activate their anger, what narratives will cement their beliefs, and sometimes, it shows them that content. Not by accident, by design. Because radicalized users are highly engaged users. They spend more time on the platform. They interact more. They fight in the comments. And engagement is all that matters. Tesla's data can predict when you are about to buy a new car. It knows from your driving patterns, your search history, your income level, your life stage. And suddenly, you start seeing ads for Tesla features you did not know existed. Recommendations from people in your network who coincidentally just bought Teslas. Articles in your feed about why now is the perfect time to upgrade. Your decision feels like it is yours. But it was engineered before you made it. The algorithm shaped your reality to lead you to a predetermined conclusion. X knows when you are vulnerable. Late at night when you cannot sleep. Right after a breakup when you are emotionally raw. During a career crisis when you are questioning everything. And that is exactly when it shows you content designed to trigger impulse decisions. Premium subscriptions that promise to boost your reach. Crypto schemes that promise to solve your financial problems. Political donations that promise to save democracy. All of it timed for maximum effectiveness. All of it designed to exploit your emotional state. And here is where it gets truly dystopian. Every time you act on these predictions, you are training the algorithm to predict you better. Every purchase you make. Every click you give. Every moment of outrage you fall for. It all makes you more predictable. You are not just being manipulated. You are participating in your own enslavement. You are teaching the machine how to control you more effectively. Elon has said publicly, the best prediction is indistinguishable from control. Think about that. He is not even hiding it. He is telling you directly that if prediction is accurate enough, there is no difference between predicting your behavior and controlling it. If I can predict what you will do with 95% accuracy, am I predicting you or programming you? Where is the line? This is not happening to dozens of people. This is not some small-scale experiment. This is happening to hundreds of millions. Every X user. Every Tesla owner. Everyone connected to Starlink. All being predicted. All being nudged. All being controlled through algorithms they cannot see and do not understand. And most of them do not even know it is happening. And the thing that keeps me up at night? We are not far from a world where your behavior is so predictable that you are essentially an NPC in Elon's simulation. A non-player character. Moving through your life following scripts written by machines. Thinking you are choosing when you are really just executing predetermined patterns. Your thoughts are not your own. Your decisions are not your own. You are a data point in a system optimized for control. This is not science fiction. This is not some distant future. This is now. And the longer you deny it, the deeper the programming goes. Everything I have told you so far? That is just with external data. Behavioral data. The things you do with your fingers on a screen. But Elon is not stopping there. Neuralink changes everything. The official story is that Neuralink will help paralyzed people walk again. That it will help blind people see. And maybe it will do those things. I hope it does. But that is not the endgame. That is just the marketing. The endgame is direct brain-to-computer interface for everyone. Not just people with medical needs. Everyone. Right now, X predicts your behavior by watching what you do. It analyzes your clicks, your scrolls, your hesitations. But with Neuralink, it will not need to predict anymore. It will just know. It will read your intentions before you act on them. Your desires before you speak them. Your thoughts before you are fully conscious of having them. There will be no gap between thinking and knowing. The algorithm will be inside your head. In a 2023 interview, Elon said this. Eventually, Neuralink will allow direct brain-to-AI communication. No typing. No speaking. Just thought. He sold it as convenience. Imagine being able to send a text just by thinking it. Imagine controlling your devices with your mind. But think about what that actually means. If the device can read your thoughts to execute commands, it is reading all of your thoughts. Not just the ones you want to share. All of them. If AI can read your thoughts, it can predict your thoughts. It can see the patterns in how you think. And if it can predict your thoughts, it can influence your thoughts. It can nudge your thinking in certain directions. It can shape your internal dialogue. And if it can influence your thoughts, where does you end and the algorithm begin? At what point are your thoughts actually yours? Neuralink has already been implanted in humans. The first patient was announced in 2024. This is not hypothetical. This is not science fiction. This is happening right now. And Elon's goal is to have 10 million people with Neuralink implants by 2030. That is 5 years away. 5 years until millions of people have Elon's technology directly wired into their brains. And the scariest part? People will line up for it. They will pay thousands of dollars to put Elon's technology directly into their brains. Because it will be convenient. Because it will make them faster at their jobs. Because it will be the new status symbol. Because everyone else will be doing it. The same way everyone lined up for smartphones. The same way everyone joined social media. We will walk willingly into the final stage of control. We are at a crossroads right now. Right now, the prediction and manipulation happens at arm's length. You can still put your phone down. You can still delete the app. You can still disconnect from the system. But once it is in your brain, there is no putting that down. There is no disconnecting. There is no off switch. There is only submission. Total and complete submission to a system that knows your thoughts better than you do. This is the point of no return. And we are walking toward it with our eyes closed. I know what you are thinking right now. This is conspiracy theory. This is paranoid. This is exaggerated. And I know why you are thinking that. Because that is what the algorithm trained you to think. When you are being manipulated, the manipulation includes defenses against recognizing the manipulation. X's algorithm has trained you to dismiss concerns about X's algorithm. Think about how perfect that is. The system that controls you has programmed you to defend the system that controls you. It is a closed loop. Self-protecting. Self-reinforcing. Elon Musk has built this public persona. The funny billionaire. The meme lord. The guy who smokes weed on podcasts and posts jokes at 2 a.m. And that persona is deliberate. It is strategic. Because if you think of him as relatable, as one of us, as just a quirky tech guy who happens to be rich, you will not think of him as someone with unprecedented power over your behavior. You will not see him as the architect of the largest behavioral control system in human history. You do not want to believe this because it is uncomfortable. It is easier to think you are in control. It is easier to believe your choices are your own. It is easier to scroll through X and think you are just killing time, just staying informed, just having fun. Not being programmed. Not being manipulated. Not being turned into something predictable and controllable. So let me challenge you. Try this right now. Delete X from your phone. Not someday. Not after you think about it. Right now, after you finish this video. If you can do it easily, without hesitation, without that little voice saying, but I need it for work, but I need it for news, but I need it to stay connected, then maybe you are in control. But if you cannot do it, if you feel resistance, if you make excuses, if you feel anxiety at the thought of being without it, then you already know I am right. You are not in control. The app is. Every addict says I can stop whenever I want. Every manipulated person says I am not being manipulated. That is how manipulation works. It makes you defend it. It makes you rationalize it. It makes you believe that your dependency is actually freedom. Studies show the average X user checks the app 43 times per day. That is once every 22 minutes while you are awake. Think about that. Every 22 minutes, your hand reaches for your phone. Your brain craves that dopamine hit. Your attention gets pulled back to the feed. That is not choice. That is compulsion. And compulsion is what happens when prediction becomes control. When the algorithm knows you so well that it can trigger your behavior on command. You are not weak. You are not undisciplined. You are fighting against billions of dollars and thousands of engineers all working to make sure you cannot put the phone down. The system is designed to win. And it is winning. X is not just a social media platform. Tesla is not just a car company. Starlink is not just internet service. Neuralink is not just medical technology. They are all pieces of the same system. And Elon is the only person on Earth who controls all the pieces. Let me show you how this works. X knows what you think. Your opinions. Your interests. Your triggers. What makes you angry. What makes you engage. What shapes your worldview. Tesla knows where you go. Your physical patterns. Your behavioral routines. Where you drive when you are stressed. where you go when you are happy, your entire movement through the physical world. Starlink knows your internet activity, not just on X. Everything. Every website you visit. Every search you make. Even when you think you are being private. And Neuralink will eventually know your neural patterns. Your thoughts before they become actions. Your intentions before they become decisions. When you combine these data sources, you create a profile that is more complete than any single platform could ever build. Google knows your searches. Meta knows your social connections. Amazon knows your purchases. But Elon is building something that knows your digital life, your physical life, and eventually your neurological life. A complete map of who you are and what you will do next. And he is not building this to serve you better. He is not doing this to make your life more convenient. He is building it because whoever controls the most complete behavioral prediction system controls the future. Controls markets. Controls politics. Controls culture. Controls everything. Elon believes we are living in a simulation. He has said it publicly dozens of times. It is one of his core beliefs. But here is what should concern you. He is not trying to escape the simulation. He is trying to become the one running it. He is trying to be the architect, the controller, the god of the system. Everyone talks about Elon wanting to colonize Mars. It is his stated mission, his grand vision. But think about this. Who controls the technology on Mars? Who controls the communication systems? Who controls the life support infrastructure? If Elon builds the Mars colony, he is not just a CEO. He is effectively a king, with total control over every system that keeps people alive. Every breath they take, every message they send, every thought they share. But before he gets to Mars, he is perfecting the control systems here, on us, on Earth. Every X user is a test subject. Every Tesla driver is a data point. Every person using Starlink is feeding the machine. We are the beta test for total behavioral control. We are the experiment that proves the system works before it gets deployed to Mars. And the terrifying thing? There is no competition. No other single person or company is building an integrated prediction system across multiple platforms like this. Google has search and ads. Meta has social media. Amazon has commerce. But none of them have the complete picture. None of them have physical movement plus digital behavior plus communication infrastructure plus eventual neural access. Elon is not just ahead of the competition. He is in a category of one. Nobody else is even playing this game. This is not about being a successful businessman. This is about building the infrastructure for total control. And we are letting it happen because we think we are just using apps and driving cars and getting internet service. We do not see the system being built around us. We do not see the cage until it is already closed. Here is the truth. You are not powerless. Not yet. But the window to take back control is closing fast. Every day you stay plugged into these systems, the prediction gets more accurate. The manipulation gets more effective. The escape gets harder. So you need to act now. Not someday. Not when it is more convenient. Right now. If you are serious about taking back control, delete X. I know that sounds extreme. I know you are already thinking of 100 reasons why you cannot do it. That is the programming talking. That is the defense mechanism the algorithm installed to protect itself. You do not need X. You think you do. But that is because the algorithm has convinced you that staying informed means staying connected to the feed. It does not. You can get news from other sources. You can stay connected to people through text and calls. You do not need the algorithm deciding what information you see and what you do not. Give yourself 30 days without X. Just 30 days. See what happens to your mental clarity. See what happens to your attention span. See what happens to your anxiety levels. I promise you the world will not end. But your mind will start to feel like your own again. If you are not ready to delete X, at least stop feeding the beast. Do not use X on the same device you use for banking, shopping, or private conversations. Create barriers between your data streams. Use different browsers for different activities. Use VPNs. Make it harder for the super profile to form. Make the algorithm work for its data instead of handing it everything on a silver platter. If you own a Tesla, go into your settings and disable every data sharing option you can find. Yes, some features will stop working. That is the price of privacy. That is the trade-off. Convenience or control. You cannot have both. Better yet, do not buy a Tesla. Every dollar you give Elon is a vote for the future he is building. Vote with your wallet. Choose a different car. Support companies that are not building behavioral control systems. When Neuralink becomes available to the public, say no. I do not care how convenient it seems. I do not care if your friends are doing it. I do not care if it becomes the hot new thing. This is the line. Once that technology is in your brain, you have surrendered the last bit of autonomy you have. There is no coming back from that. This is where you draw the line and say no. Share this video. Talk about this with people you care about. The invisibility of this manipulation is what makes it so effective. Nobody talks about it. Nobody admits it is happening. So make it visible. Start the conversation. Warn the people you love. The more people who understand what is happening, the harder it is for it to continue unchecked. I know this is hard. I know your brain is generating objections right now. But I need X for work. But my Tesla is so convenient. But I am not being manipulated. That is exactly what someone being manipulated would think. That is exactly what the programming wants you to believe. You have a choice. But only for a little while longer. Every day that passes, the system gets stronger and you get weaker. So choose now. Choose consciousness. Choose autonomy. Choose to be unpredictable. Choose to take back your mind before it is too late. I need to tell you why I am making this video. Why I am risking the backlash, the accusations of conspiracy theory, the potential lawsuits. Because this is personal for me. This is not just research. This is my life. 6 months ago, I realized I was checking X within 90 seconds of waking up. Every single morning. Before I spoke to my wife. Before I checked on my kids. Before I was even fully conscious, my hand was reaching for my phone. It was automatic. Unconscious. A reflex I did not control. And one morning I caught myself. I watched my hand reaching for the phone on my nightstand. And I had this horrifying thought. I did not decide to do that. Some part of my brain that was not me made that decision. The train part. The program part. The part that had been conditioned to need that dopamine hit first thing in the morning. So I deleted X. Cold turkey. No weaning off. No gradual reduction. Just deleted it. And the first 3 days were hell. I'm not exaggerating. I had anxiety. Real physical anxiety. I had phantom notification feelings. My pocket would buzz even though my phone was not buzzing. I had this constant sense that I was missing something important. Classic withdrawal symptoms. The same symptoms you would see in someone coming off drugs. But after a week, something changed. I could think again. Long, uninterrupted thoughts. The kind of thinking that requires sustained attention. I could read a book without getting distracted every few minutes. I could have a conversation with my wife without part of my brain being somewhere else, wondering what was happening on the feed. I remembered what my own mind felt like before it was colonized by algorithms. And that is when I understood. I had not been using X. X had been using me. To generate data. To test behavioral manipulation techniques. To be part of the world's largest experiment in automated psychological control. I was not the user. I was the product. And worse than that, I was the lab rat. That is why I am here. Because if it could happen to me, someone who understands this technology, someone who works in tech, someone who should know better, then it is happening to everyone. And most people do not even realize it. They think they are in control. They think they are just using an app. They do not see what is being done to them. Elon Musk is building the infrastructure for total behavioral control. Not through force. Not through obvious manipulation. Through prediction. Through systems so subtle and sophisticated that you do not even know they are controlling you. And once the system is complete, once Neuralink is widespread, once the data integration is seamless, there will not be a way out. The cage will be closed. The programming will be complete. So I am asking you, are you going to wait until it is too late? Are you going to wait until you cannot escape anymore? Or are you going to take back control now? Delete X. Protect your data. Reject the brain implants when they come. And most importantly, wake other people up. Comment below and say I am taking back control. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Start the conversation. Because the only way we stop this is together. One person waking up is not enough. We need a movement. And subscribe to this channel. Because I am going to keep exposing what Elon and other tech giants are really building. The algorithm will try to bury this content. It will try to keep you from seeing it. Do not let it. Turn on notifications. Be part of the resistance. Be part of the group of people who refuse to be controlled. Your mind is worth fighting for.